I've lost 10 pounds in 1 month following these 5 non-negotiables, and if you follow these tips you can also get great results. Hello and good morning and welcome back to my channel. I'm naturally Ray, or you can just call me Ray. Now if you know you watch my videos back to back and have not subscribed, why not? Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss when I upload future vlogs and videos where I talk about health, fitness and lifestyle. So I recently finished my October challenge. This is the second time I did this challenge. The first time I did it in July, and I also lost 10 pounds in 30 days. Now if you all have been keeping up with my recent vlogs, you all know that I started my 75-day challenge that run concurrently with my October challenge. And no, this is not a 75 hard challenge. I just decided to develop healthy habits and routines for the last couple of months of the year, so that by the time January 1st reach, I will be way ahead of 90% of people who will be now adopting the new year, new me, and writing down New Year's goals and New Year's resolutions to lose weight and to get fit. And I know this from experience because I've done it time and time again in the past. Now one of my first non-negotiables was drinking 80 ounces of water every single day. Now when I did this in July, my non-negotiable was to drink a gallon of water every day, and by my second day I realized that a gallon was way too much. I know you may see a lot of people talking about drinking a gallon of water a day, but that is a lot of water and you may not need to drink all of that to stay hydrated. All you can do is go on Google, put in your height, put in your weight, put in your age, and you'll be able to calculate or recommend how much water you should be drinking daily. Now here's the thing, if it is that you do a lot of strenuous exercise, you do maybe strenuous work, you're sweating a lot, you live in a very hot climate, you may have to drink a little more than what is recommended. But if it is that you are dehydrated, drink a little more. A lot of people talk about electrolytes and drinking electrolytes every day. I do not think that is absolutely necessary. If it is that you know you live a healthy lifestyle and you eat foods that are nutritionally dense and you have all of the macronutrients you need and micronutrients, you may not need to add electrolytes to your water or maybe buy electrolytes. As a matter of fact, something that is simple for you to do is maybe just get some pink Himalayan salt and put it in your water and see how you feel after a couple of days or a couple of weeks. But I will say make sure that you target your nutrition, which we will talk about soon. Now I have my smart scale that shows me a little more readings, and of course you all know I'm going to show you all my readings on my smart scale because again I am really happy with all the results. But it also shows me my water percentage, so I can have a really good gauge as to how hydrated I am. And trust me, 80 ounces every day is sufficient for me to stay hydrated. Now another point that I wanted to make is that I hear a lot of people, at least when I watch some of these videos, talk about drinking a lot of water to help you stay full when you're on a weight loss journey. And listen, if it is that you are thirsty and you are hydrated, please drink water, because if it is that you full up on this water, really and truly you're just causing a lot of expansion and you're not going to be satisfied. If you are hungry, eat your food. If you are thirsty and dehydrated, drink your water, because water is essential for our bodies to function properly. It helps us with your digestion, it helps us with your bowel movement. I mean, my skin has been doing so well. I mean, of course right now I have on makeup, but my skin has been glowing, I have been thriving. And of course when it is you drink all of this water, it helps you to enhance your performance when you're exercising. One of my other non-negotiables was to do strength training or resistance training 3 times a week and do it for at least 30 minutes for each session. And y'all, again, if you all watched my July challenge, it was very challenging back then. At this time, honestly, it was worse. And I know you may think with all the time that passed between July and October it would have gotten better, but it really didn't. I just had to come to the realization that I needed to lower my expectations when it came to the fitness aspect of my weight loss journey. And here's the thing, right? I used to exercise a lot more, like at the very beginning of my weight loss journey. You all know it has been years since I've been trying to lose this weight. I am finally doing things that are realistic and sustainable, and that's why I'm really getting to see results. But when I was consistent back then, I had this like accountability, because I would come on my Instagram stories every single day. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday, yes, I was exercising 6 days a week yes, 6 days a week. And it would be between 30 minutes to an hour, and I would just use it as a way to encourage and motivate my followers to exercise, and of course eating healthy as well, because I will show all the different things that I would eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner and snack. But I kind of fell off of that. I actually do have a plan for the next couple of weeks that will take me into the new year, because I realized that with all my non-negotiables, this is where I have been falling short all the time. Because of my smart scale, I was able to see a lot of my readings with my body fat percentage and my muscle mass, and I always knew that moving the needle or moving the scale in the right direction and faster would only come when it is I started eating healthier and making healthy dietary choices. Of course, I talk a lot in my videos about the huge benefits of making sure that you build muscle and build lean mass. I definitely want to get stronger. I definitely want to lean out, but I really had a very, or I should say have, because I still have a very high body fat percentage, and my nutrition, making sure that I eat the right things, has been helping me out a lot more to decrease that. Now, because I'm a beginner and a newbie with strength training and resistance training, it did not take a lot for me to actually gain some muscle. Now the thing is that I really think I gained much muscle, but I definitely did not lose. And when it is you maybe exercising a lot more, maybe as a intermediate or advanced, this would not work for you. For someone like me, where my body fat percentage is very high, I'm a newbie, the little stimulus that I did. No, here's the thing, it's not that I did not exercise at all, it's not that I didn't do any strength training, but I would say it was very minimal. I was not optimizing everything that I needed to do to gain that excess muscle. And I know once it is I increase my basal metabolic rate, my BMR increases, I really get that opportunity to burn more calories when I'm at rest. Of course, again, I know I mentioned so many times about the benefits of having lean muscle mass. I really want my body to start doing body recomposition, losing fat and gaining muscle at the same time. But for the last couple of weeks, I really have just been focusing on losing my belly fat, losing visceral fat, losing my body fat, and it has been working really well. Of course, I do want to increase my BMR, because when it is you do that, yes, you're burning calories, but it also allows you the opportunity to eat more, and who doesn't want that, especially when you're on a weight loss journey? You all know I follow the 80-20 rule, where 80% of the time I eat whole unprocessed food or minimally processed food, and then 20% of the time I have my treat meals. I always talk about balance, making sure that you're doing things that are realistic and sustainable, because this is a journey. When it is I reach my goal weight, which I really think I should be able to reach before the end of the year, but anyways, when it is I reach my goal weight, I still need to learn how to maintain. Now, I say this so many times in my video, but it does not matter what you are going through, whether you're drinking a gallon of water every day, whether you're exercising for 1 hour, 6 days a week, whatever it is you're doing, you have to be in a calorie deficit in order to lose weight. Whether you have perimenopause or going through perimenopause, going through menopause, you have PCOS, you have hormonal imbalances, whatever you're going through, you still have to be in a calorie deficit in order to lose weight. I talk about in my videos, or I should say mention it in my videos, that I understand it will be a little more challenging to lose weight when you do have certain hormonal imbalances or certain medical conditions, but it doesn't necessarily mean that your calorie deficit has to be 1,000 calories you're cutting down. It could just be a couple hundred calories, especially when it is you're implementing all of these healthy habits and routines. It's going to make it a lot better. As a matter of fact, when it is you start eating healthier foods and developing healthier habits, it will make it easier, because you're balancing your hormones, you're getting the right amount of macronutrients, micronutrients. I talk about making sure you're eating the rainbow. You don't have to buy the expensive foods, you just have to make sure that you're paying a little close attention to what you're consuming. Of course, I always talk about prioritizing protein, making sure that you're eating 0.8 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of your ideal body weight. I know that sounds like a lot, but basically my ideal body weight is 120 grams. 120 pounds, my goodness. So that means I usually try to aim at getting 100 to 120 grams of protein every single day. Try your best to maybe just do like 30 grams in your main meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And protein is really ideal. Well, I shouldn't even say ideal. It's very important to make sure that you're prioritizing your protein because it keeps you fuller for longer. It keeps you satiated. Of course, you want to make sure that you're eating your fiber, eating your fruits, eating your vegetables. I still can't understand why people are making so many excuses to say, well, they don't want to eat their fruits, they don't want to eat their vegetables, they don't like this and they don't like that. There has to be some type of vegetable that you like. Make sure that you season up your food so that it actually tastes good, so you'll be able to eat it. It doesn't mean that you have to stick to broccoli if you don't like broccoli, or Brussels sprouts if you don't like Brussels sprouts. There has to be some fruits, there has to be some vegetables that you like. Season it up good, bake it, roast it, put it in the air fryer, whatever you have to do, steam it, and it will taste good. Y'all, I'm sorry if it is that the lighting is changing, the sun is coming out and then it's going. Right now it's getting a little gloomy, so you may see some changes in my background or lighting, so I apologize about that. But when it comes to nutrition, and even when it comes to just your weight loss journey as a whole, I always talk about measuring the things that you want to manage so that you can see your progress over time, because if you don't measure it and you don't track it, you can't improve on it. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to take out a food scale or maybe track all of your calories on MyFitnessPal or any other app, but you still need to have a general idea as to what you are consuming every single day, because it's an energy balance equation. You can't change the laws of thermodynamics. You need to be in a calorie deficit if you want to lose weight, and not just weight but your body fat. When it comes to your foods, you don't want to be too restrictive, because I have tried that so many times and it works for a couple of weeks, and then after that you just put back on all the weight because it's not sustainable, it's not realistic. You don't even get the proper nutrients you need when it is you have a very restricted diet. What you can do, if it is that you want to measure a lot of stuff, is consider doing the measurements with your hands. So a cupped hand for the amount of carbohydrates, the palm of your hand for the amount of protein, your fist for the amount of fiber, or I should say vegetables, and then your thumb for your fats. You can consider doing that type of measurement. Now, when it comes to going out, I realize some of these restaurants serve you like 2, 3, sometimes even 4 times the amount of what a normal servings should be. I have found myself time and time again trying to finish all of the food when it is I go out to a restaurant, but I said, you know what, I'm not doing that anymore. I decided if I am full, I'm going to stop. Try my best to listen to my hunger cues. Now, that might be challenging if you haven't gotten accustomed doing it. I know a lot of people talk about eating intuitively, and truth be told, I always used to eat intuitively. I only started putting on all of my weight in 2020 when the pandemic started, and I never I never measured like my calories or anything. I really did eat intuitively. Now, back then, I really was not eating very healthy. I was just naturally small, and I would guess I was maybe a little more active back then. But I will say over time, you will be able to pick up on your hunger cues, and you will be able to start eating intuitively, where you don't have to think about how much calories is this and how much is this. Prioritize your proteins, eat your fiber, make sure that you're feeding your gut microbiome with the right amount of nutrients. That really helps you out so much with your weight loss as well. The foods that you eat has the probiotics, the foods that you eat have the prebiotics in it. The yogurt, well, specifically the Greek yogurt, you don't want to use the ones with all the artificial flavors or natural flavors, because they really do hide a lot of chemicals with those natural flavors. You want to stay away from that. Now, here's the thing, there are times you may eat a yogurt as flavor, the strawberries, which is my fave, blueberries, whatever it is, but make sure that you don't eat that often. Try your best to have the Greek yogurt. Make sure that you have, maybe eat kimchi, eat sauerkraut. Sauerkraut is something that I didn't like at the beginning, and like now I eat it like almost every single day. Now, be careful of the kombuchas and these drinks that talk about having probiotics and prebiotics, because here's the thing, right? they actually only have a little bit of prebiotics and probiotics in it. It's best that you have a healthy diet and a nutritionally dense diet. You more than likely will get more of your probiotics, prebiotics from just the very food that you're eating. And of course, while it is, you can have your different treats, y'all. I like to have my cake, my chocolates, my ice cream, my brownies. I love it all. But at the same time, you really want to drastically reduce the ultra processed food. If it is that every other day for lunch you're eating fries, fried chicken, burgers, pizza, and all of this junk food, you would not see results. You just wouldn't. You really need to try your best and reduce the amount of ultra processed foods that you consume, because they tend to be very high in calories, void of protein, void of fiber, and they're really just not good for you. Now, one of the things that really helps me to stay in a calorie deficit is increasing my daily step count. I know a lot of people talk about the 10,000 steps, and I mentioned to you all in the past when it is I do my videos, you don't have to do 10,000 steps. Studies have shown just getting about 8,500 steps every single day gives you the same or very similar benefits to people who walk 10,000 steps or even 15,000 steps a day. Now here's the thing, right? I actually walk around 10,000 steps a day, and I don't mean to sound like a hypocrite. It's just that it is actually much easier than you think. When it is I heard about this 10,000 steps, I really wondered how are people getting all of these steps in, until I went on Google and I realized that it takes approximately an hour and 40 minutes just to get in 10,000 steps. Of course, you know, you're moving at a relatively good pace, but it's really easy to do that. You can just spend 20 minutes after breakfast of walking. That helps you out with your digestion. It helps you out to reduce your blood sugar levels. Do that after lunch, do that after dinner, in the morning when it is you're doing your devotions, and you sit down, you journal, you do what you have to do. You can spend about 10, 15, 20 minutes praying. That will get you some extra steps in the day, and before you know it, you can spend at least an hour and a half walking. I tend to maybe put in some music in my ear. Sometimes I may watch a YouTube video. Some of my favorite YouTubers, their videos are like 20 to 30 minutes long. Sometimes they may do a vlog that's really long, and I might just walk around and watch a video because I am being entertained. And walking is something that's simple, it's easy. Now, if it is that you do have some issues with your mobility, then I understand you may not be able to do it, but it's low impact on your bone, it's low impact on your joints. You don't need any special equipment to do it. You don't need to go to the gym to do it. There's really a low barrier of entry when it comes to walking, and the reason why it's so beneficial is because it's part of your NEAT, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. That's just the movements that you make on a daily basis, just from moving your hands, fidgeting, walking around, cleaning your house, doing laundry, shopping. And once it is that you increase your NEAT, you also increase the amount of calories that you burn on a daily basis. And I have found that it helps me so much with losing a lot of my belly fat. If it is that you live a very sedentary lifestyle, don't try to get 8, 9, 10,000 steps every day. Maybe take 1 week and increase it by 1,000, and then the following week by another 1,000. See how it works for a couple of weeks, but try to do it very gradually. Now, my fifth non-negotiable was my most improved, and I was so excited about this one, and that was sleeping for at least 7 to 9 hours every single night. So getting good quality sleep. I struggled with this for, I would say, the majority of the year, but I was determined to get it together for at least this challenge, and I felt so much better. Of course, you know, when it is you sleep, you get to rest your body, you recover, you get rejuvenation, and you just feel energized the next day. Studies have shown that when you are sleep deprived, you tend to eat a lot more calories the following day because your hunger increases a lot more. And most of the times when you're eating this extra amount of calories, it's not the best foods. It's usually the junk foods, the ultra processed foods, because it causes an imbalance in your hormones. Your cortisol levels increases, so you get hungrier, you get more cravings. Your ghrelin, which is your hunger hormone, also increases, and then you have a decrease in your leptin, which is your satiety hormone. It's just not good all around. You really need to make sure that you're prioritizing your sleep. Now, I know people make the excuse and say, well, I don't really have that time, I don't know where I can find that time. And here's the thing, right? more than likely you're spending a little too much time on social media, so you may have to consider cutting down some of the time you spend on your phone, cutting down the time that you spend watching TV. You may have to make some adjustments to your schedule and even like your nighttime routine. Now, I am not saying don't watch TV, don't be on your device, don't be on social media, but I find a lot of people, when it is you mention to them about getting a lot more sleep, they seem to think that there's nothing that they can adjust to get that extra sleep. If it is that you maybe work like on a shift system, or maybe you have toddlers, it may be a little more challenging to get that extra quality time of sleep. But when it comes to making sure that you get into a good sleep cycle and a good circadian rhythm, try and do it gradually. It's much easier to control when it is you get up versus when it is you fall asleep. So if it is you set an alarm for 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, get up at that time. Do not snooze it, get up. Over time, your body will adjust so that whether you have to go to sleep at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, your body will slowly start to adjust over time, and you will naturally start to fall asleep around the same time every single night. Your body is just smart enough to do that, unless you have like external stresses and different things happening. I'm not saying after a 30-day challenge you're gonna get everything perfectly, but we're looking at progress over perfection. So whether it is you see this video November 2024 or the 5th of January 2025, just make sure that you're taking just the small steps to improve and get better every single day. Develop healthy habits, develop healthy routines, make sure that they are sustainable, make sure that they are realistic, so that you can get fit, lose weight, and become the healthiest version of yourselves.